Let's talk overconsumption being rebranded as home organization. What I see going on in a lot of these fridge restocks is a lot of plastic, a lot of unnecessary decanting, a lot of things that really just don't make sense in terms of food safety and how we all are living our lives here. I see no space in any of these refrigerators for things like leftovers, meal prep kind of things. I'll get behind some of the food storage containers that actually protect the food, but the parent snack box, I mean, this is a little over the top, I think. And who has space in their fridge for that? Decanting deli meats from a plastic package into a plastic container, I don't know, y'all. That seems a little excessive and just unnecessary. And the berries. I mean, who's eating all these berries? Nobody is eating these berries in the amount of time before they get soggy and gross. And the herbs. I mean, I love you with your herbs, but I mean, who's using all these herbs?
Social media has now been around for approximately 30 years, and we look at old videos and think these are so cringe and bizarre. But what I think is that what is truly bizarre is what it has turned and continue to turn into. We have not even scratched the surface as to what a monster it can be. And in the past, I have talked about several aspects of social media, and today we are tackling the conspicuous consumption that social media continues to promote. Let's look at the unhinged universe of fridge restocking. What is this? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I Am Patience, and on this channel we have conversations about society's impacts on our lives and on our finances and how we can take back that power so we can live more intentional lives and to build a financial future that is filled with intentional decisions, planning, and ultimately success. If that sounds good to you, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos as well. Let's get straight into this video. In this video, we will be diving into the unhinged world of fridge restocking, because if you are not on organizing Instagram, I mean, a lot of these videos are also on TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, so that's why I see a lot of these videos, and on YouTube Shorts as well. These are unhinged. I can admit it as somebody who loves organization. I am not one of those people who has like a disorganized fridge. I love organization in my life. If you have watched any of my apartment tours, you would know I am all into organization. I am into basically everything having its own place. So this is the type of content I actually enjoy, but even I can admit that it is a bit unhinged, and we're going to go through several examples. Through it all, be sure to share your comments, because I cannot be the only one who thinks that this is pushing a level of conspicuous consumption that is unhealthy. There is nothing wrong with restocking your fridge. We're just going to say that. I love this content. I'm putting that out there so it doesn't come from a place of judgment. But even I can admit that sometimes this is too much. We have crossed unhinged territory. So in the time that social media has been in our lives, it has transformed the way we communicate, share experiences, even shape the experiences that we do get to have. And even more than that, it has a way of defining our identities, or the identities that we want to put out there into the world. Everybody has a way of crafting that social media image that they want, some better than others, depending on if you're trying to sell a brand or if you're just trying to sell that image of yourself, if you have something more to offer to the world, so you build a social media that hopefully can cater to that. Even as a person who does social media, not professionally, but as a hobby, and has a YouTube channel, I am curating a brand. Typically, I focus on financial literacy. I've done some others here and there, lifestyle here. I'm curating this platform for social conversations, and that is a form of branding. But it has also become a powerful tool for driving consumption and overconsumption, driving users to constantly be chasing trends, purchasing the newest upgrades that is out there, even when what they have is perfectly fine, and pushing a lifestyle that they want to portray online as a polished and easy life that is really not realistic. And we know this, but sometimes when we go on social media, we forget that everything on there is not real. In an era where economic challenges and inflation makes it difficult for many to maintain financial stability, the pressure to keep up with social media trends have a serious consequence on savings rate and long-term financial health. And in this video, we will be exploring how social media fuels this conspicuous consumption, focusing on fridge restocking. We will also be discussing why is this type of content so popular? Why is it being pushed out and millions of people are watching it? Every time that I go watch one of these videos, it has millions of views. And truthfully, I'm one of those people who's watching it too. So I'm not just putting out there that, oh, this person, you're to blame. No, I'm part of the problem too. Yes, it's me. I'm the problem too. But most importantly, how can we avoid falling into this trap? At the end of the day, some of this is content. Beyond some of what it portrays, if it just remains content because it's somebody's job, we can choose not to participate in that. And if we don't participate, then we don't feel it. It could just be content, almost like watching a movie. But the problem is that a lot of this becomes aspirational. And so a lot of people want to emulate it and repeat what they see on the screen, leading to financial destitute and impacting your financial health for restocking the fridge. Social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, even LinkedIn have become a virtual marketplace where people can sell products and a lifestyle and promote their brand that becomes aspirational for people to want to emulate and therefore purchase the products that they are selling so that they can reach that level of luxury aspiration that they crave. What was once supposed to be a platform and a space for personal expression has become a commercial hub where curated feeds and sponsored posts continually encourage overconsumption. From clothes and shoes to beauty products, the newest technological gadgets, social media has made it very easy for us to continually stay consuming the newest thing out there. It's so easy that with a click, you can purchase whatever you want, whether it's through the money that you have or even through debt. This phenomenon aligns with the concept of conspicuous consumption, which is a word I've been using. And it was coined by the sociologist, I hope I don't pronounce the name wrong, Thorstein Veblen in the late 19th century. He described conspicuous consumption as the act of purchasing goods and services not for their inherent value, but for the status and prestige they confer. And today, social media amplifies that. This behavior allows users to share their purchases all over the internet, to brag sometimes with all those designer bags that people just put together just to show that they went to shop at an upper echelon brand. Nowadays, you can even just buy the bags and put them together. Who knows if you actually went there? But the consequence is the creation of pressure for other people who feel like they need to keep up, they need to compete, especially in the influencer space. When one influencer does something, somebody who wants to also be an influencer feels like they have to do just as much, if not more, to grab people's attention. And of course, one of the primary drivers of conspicuous consumption on social media are influencers. And if you don't know what an influencer is, they are individuals with large followings who shape trends, promote products, and endorse particular lifestyles. Influencers have built entire careers by curating aspirational content that highlight luxury goods, designer clothes, and expensive experiences. Their followers often see them as role models, and the products they promote are perceived as symbols of success and beauty. And trend-driven content are very popular because they tap into our innate human desire for self-improvement, to feel like we're doing well. It's aspirational, as well as this feeling of belonging, and beyond that, social status. In this age of consistent comparison, every time you're scrolling by people's posts, you're comparing yourself over and over again. People often feel the need to align their personal lives with the trends that are going on so that they don't feel they're being left behind, or FOMO, fear of missing out. They want to continue to stay with the trend, not be an anomaly in this social media driven world. And they do this by all means, even if they're going into deep debt to portray and sustain this image. And the social media platforms are not innocent, because their algorithms exacerbate this issue by promoting this type of overconsumption and conspicuous consumption. They want a certain image and lifestyle to be promoted that grabs people, that people would engage with. And because of that, they push this, because this is one of the most easiest types of posts for people to engage with, lifestyle. And these posts are often promoting and displaying very expensive and luxury goods and aspirational lifestyle items. People will engage, therefore it'll be pushed out to more people, gaining more views, gaining more attention, and the cycle continues. And this conspicuous consumption directly affects our finances and our savings rate. In 2023, the US personal savings rate was around 3.5%, a significant decline from early pandemic months where the savings rate soared over 20% due to the reduced spending and stimulus payments. And after everybody came out into the world again, there was an increase in spending, and therefore people were losing their savings very, very fast because there's so much to buy, there's so much to see, there's so many places to go, and people just started spending a lot of the money that they had saved. And when people prioritize spending on unnecessary things rather than prioritizing having a fully funded emergency fund and saving for retirement, it puts their financial future at risk. Purchases of designer goods, trendy fashion items, and luxury experiences can drain disposable incomes and delay critical financial goals like buying a home, investing in retirement, and paying off debt. And the consistent pushing of new products and the scarcity of those products, because they'll push a limited amount, and if you don't get it in that time, that's it. You feel like you'll never ever get it again. And microtrends every few weeks, every few months. This is just draining a lot of people's savings because it promotes impulse purchases and the continuous spending on unnecessary products. But there are a lot of reasons why people will do this and put their financial future at risk in order to purchase items that will be probably out of trend in the next few months. And that's because of social validation. So let's dig into the psychology of social validation. Because one of the reasons why the saying keeping up with the Joneses has been around for such a long time is because as human beings, we often seek social validation. And when you are very active on social media, or at least just a watcher, maybe a spectator, you keep getting fed these ideas of this is what it means to be successful. This is what it means to have made it. This is what it means to be beautiful. This is what it means to be successful. Our minds intake that over and over again because people spend hours on hours every single day on social media. If that's all you see, that is what you begin to believe. And that feeds into our human need for social validation. Seeing others flaunt their success through luxury products and curated lifestyle can trigger feelings of envy, admiration, or desire to emulate such behaviors. And for some people, making an expensive purchase that they can share online and post it over their social media feed, which will get likes, engagements, comments about how you've made it and how beautiful this is, or how great you look, or how great this product is a form of positive reinforcement. And because you get all that engagement, you will feel the need to do it over again, because positive reinforcement means that that behavior is more likely to occur again. And if that's the type of validation that you want, and you get that and you crave that more, you are more likely to do it over and over again, even if it's digging you into a place of financial risk. Because our mind works on dopamine, and if purchasing that item gives you dopamine boost, you're going to do it again. But even more, if those engagements give you dopamine boost, you're going to be addicted to that dopamine driven feedback loop, and you're going to do it over and over again. But also I talked about FOMO, the fear of missing out, which is a powerful psychological driver which encourages people to spend money that they may not even have in order to feel included and not miss out on what is going on now and feel out of the social norm. But because social media is so curated, especially as time goes on, it becomes more and more curated. The Instagram you go on today is not the Instagram of 2012. You can even look at old pictures from back then and pictures now, and how much Photoshop, face tuning, luxury goods, fake posts about anything. See that it's not real. And when you don't have media literacy, you can easily fall into this trap. Because that curated image that is not real, that you are falling for, can be the difference between you making decisions that would take you towards a path of financial success rather than the opposite. You are watching the highlights of people's lives, not their everyday life. There's a difference. But in our minds, we have this distorted perception where even though we know it's true for our lives, we somehow can't see it that way for other people. But also there is that allure of aspiration. All over social media now, a lot of influencers are trying to tap into that aspirational mindset, right? Of feel like you're doing better, you're doing good, you're reaching your goals, which is not a bad thing, but often it is followed by this overconsumption. For example, if you've seen the It Girl day routine where the It Girl is journaling, she's going to Pilates, then she's wearing this specific type of gym clothing, and then she drives this specific type of car, and she has this specific type of apartment. That's all aspirational, and it seems so peaceful for them to film that day, but that's not their day to day. Any type of aesthetic that is considered aspirational, we often fall into that because we see that, we think this is the type of life I want to live. So what can I do to live that life? Oftentimes the easiest thing that people see is to buy the items that they see on that reel, on that video, and then they feel like once they have all of those, they can then live that life. But that's not how it works. You can't buy your way into a certain lifestyle. Just the aesthetics of the lifestyle, but not a true day-to-day. Because oftentimes that doesn't even exist. Nobody's day looks exactly the same every single day. Well, at least not for most normal people. But because many people often follow many celebrities and influencers, they aspire to that lifestyle that that celebrity or influencer displays. And purchasing products is one of the easiest ways that they can feel connected to that lifestyle and to that person. This aspirational based marketing is especially effective in industries such as fashion, beauty, travel, where users are encouraged to buy into the fantasy of better and more luxurious lives. And for brands, this type of content is a gold mine, and that's why there are so many sponsored posts. Watch out for those. Partnerships between influencers and companies have led to a lot of sponsored posts, and I'm not against sponsorships. Hopefully one day I'll be able to do sponsorships, but it's about disclosing the sponsorship, because when you do content, especially you're at a certain level and you want to make that your lifestyle, it's a job, meaning you need to get paid. And I believe that influencers deserve to get paid, and I believe that when somebody works, they should get paid. And it's just about disclosing and being honest with it. Actually promoting products that you use, not just products because you can make money and you can sell anything to your audience. I feel like that's very disingenuous and it's not right. But oftentimes, because a lot of influencers are desperate for money, because very small percentage of influencers actually make a ton of money. The rest of them do not make that much money, not even a livable wage. And because of that, a lot of times it blurs the line between a genuine recommendation and recommending it just because you're getting paid. But let's get to the fun part, which is reviewing these videos on fridge restocking. I will do another type of video on conspicuous consumption. Let me know your recommendations and I will be sure to consider that. I just want to go in and say this. I have absolutely nothing against these creators. In fact, this is some type of content that I could see myself doing, because I genuinely live the type of lifestyle where I like things in place. I am slightly germophobic and an organizational fanatic, okay? I love things organized. And because of that, I come from a place not of judgment, but sometimes some things I just know are not practical. And I hope to point out a lot of these to you, because as a person who kind of lives a similar lifestyle, not like this much, I just want to tell you that some of these things are very unrealistic. But let's get straight into it, and then we can continue this discussion. Okay, let's start the first video. Very normal stuff so far. I have nothing to complain. I'm watching. Just cleaning, very realistic. Okay, something that I do. Why didn't I use my saucepan for that? Okay, so she's just washing her vegetables. Very normal. She's putting her stuff in the fridge. I have an air container, okay? I know some people may not like it, but look at that. Look at all that soda in the fridge. And that's another thing. A lot of these promote just unhealthy eating. Okay, it started out normal. At this stage, we've gotten to the point of it not being so normal. And what is not so normal about this? Well, I'll tell you a few things. Well, number one, it's a lot of work, okay? As somebody who goes grocery shopping, comes home, wipes down everything that she buys, washed all her vegetables, I wash all of my fruits, everything before I put them in the fridge, and I organize them in my fridge as well. I have to say that it takes hours. I'm not saying don't do it. In fact, I encourage you to do it if you have time, But I just want to put that out there. A lot of these are doing it as a job as well. Don't forget that. It's not something that you just do within 30 minutes. No, this takes hours. Okay, I've literally come from grocery shopping and spent like 2 hours putting groceries away and organizing my fridge, which by the way is like already clean. It's not like I'm cleaning from scratch. The egg removing, I actually like it because I think that sometimes it helps it not get stuck in the actual egg crate, which can then make the egg go bad. So I do have an egg container where I move it. But here's where it gets slightly unhinged for me, which is pouring the milk out of the milk carton into the milk container. I didn't see her put an expiration date, so it's like, what if the milk expires? How are you gonna know, right? If she had labels, yeah, but what happened also to the milk that did not fully get into all of the entire container? Because it looked like there was some milk left when she poured it out. Same with the juices that she did. What happens? It's just a waste of plastic to me. And I'm not saying do not use plastic, or maybe some just glass containers. It didn't look like much glass. And these containers cost money. See, it's not just the fact that she's selling, buying a ton of fruits and vegetables and stuff. These are all great. If this is what she usually eats and this is her normal grocery haul, great for her. But it's the containers that she's selling, not just the organization. It's the containers. And a lot of them tend to have these fridges that look like supermarket, and a lot of them also tend to have a lot of sodas in their fridge and a lot of unhealthy drinks that makes it look like a vending machine. I think that's also a problem. I don't think this is the worst I've seen. I just think that people should know that getting to this level of look on your fridge is very expensive, starting with the containers and then the time that it takes and then the maintenance. Once you move certain things out of your fridge and it doesn't look like day one, I know for me at least, I get a little bit anxious because I'm like, oh, like, you know, the fridge is starting to look a certain way, but I don't get driven to the level of them buying more just because. Instead, I just grocery shop when I need to. Let's move on to the next video. So this one is a mini fridge restock. Are y'all seeing that? All that soda. I think this one is more unhinged than the previous video we watched. This rotating thing in the fridge, I mean, at least she kept the sauces in the original container, so I can't be mad about that. But again, there's so much plastic for your fridge. Mind you, you're gonna have to wash these as well. It comes empty because there can also be things can spill on there, or even if nothing spills, it's just over time you need to clean it. It just gets this look. But I don't like this vending machine look, and this is not realistic for everyday house. Would I love that type of fridge? Yes, but still, I don't think this is the most unhinged one I've seen. There's more to go. Let's move on to the next video. This one is actually a pantry restock, and I think this is actually very normal. I have some of those containers. I think this is clean, organized. I would not consider this overconsumption. I actually consider this very normal consumption for somebody with a small pantry space who is trying to be organized. I love organization as always, and I think this content is very real. And just because you see somebody who is very organized in their pantry and buys in bulk, it doesn't mean they're over consuming. Even I, as a single person, I often buy in bulk because I find it to be less expensive and I don't have to buy the same thing over and over again. So if I was gonna buy tomato sauce, I'll buy the entire box, which is like a pack of 12. I'm gonna use it all before it expires, but I just like to buy in bulk. Same with things like beans, paper towels, toilet paper. I always buy a lot of those things in bulk because it just makes sense. I'm gonna continually use it. So just because you see somebody buy a lot of something doesn't mean they're over consuming. I find it practical that way because it's less expensive and I'm using less of packaging. It's all those single-use packages, things that people buy, like the 100 sodas the other lady had in her fridge when she could just buy one big thing of soda. I see that as overconsumption. Let's move on to another video. So this one, I think this is slightly rage bait. The fact that she is stocking mini fridges for her kids. Let's watch the video. A bunch of candy for a kid. Look, when I was a kid, this would have been my dream. I would have loved if my parents just gave me a ton of candy, a bunch of unhealthy food that I thought was delicious. But does that make sense? You are the parent. This is unhealthy. I hope this is fake. This is just one of those times where I hope what she's portraying is fake, because if it's not, it's very dangerous to the health of the children. And it's building a life where they are just going to have struggles with self-control. There's a reason why we have parents. You need parents to guide you, and that includes food as well. I believe it's a parent's responsibility to build that healthy relationship between food and snacks with their children by demonstrating. Okay, I see fruits for one of the kids, just a bunch of apples. It makes no sense to me. Let me go read these comments because I know that people are going to have a lot to say. So somebody's asking, are the kids allowed to go into your mini fridges whenever they want? And that's so true because it's a lot of chocolate, it's a lot of candy. I love candy. And now that I am out of my parents' house and I can afford to buy the candy that I want, I have to control myself. But then again, I'm a 24-year-old adult, not just a kid who wants to just eat candy all day. And I can also see in the comment section, somebody asking for the link to the fridge. Again, that's what they're promoting. They're trying to sell these fridge. And the creators sent them the link for the fridge, meaning that more likely than not, they made a commission off of this. But I can see that a lot of people in this comment section don't have this system and you're already buying into it, which I don't think it's neither good or bad. It's just what you decide to put in the kids' mini fridges and how you control it. Let's move on to the next video. This is another mini fridge restock. Let's see what this parent does. They're cleaning it, and then they have these teeny tiny bowls that they are filling with different types of snacks. Okay, some candy. This one seems to be smaller, more diverse. Okay, just filled water. I think this one is probably more realistic, definitely healthier than the other parent that I saw. Some cheese. And this is great. I think this is a level of mindful consumption because kids will love this in their room. It's not about just what they're doing. It's about how they're doing it. I just think this is a normal, great idea that if you're parents and your kid would want a mini fridge, this is great. I can see myself doing this for my future kids. They're gonna love it. Now let's move on to this next video, which is another mini fridge restock. I think this is another unhealthy one. I don't think this is grossly overconsumption, but I see that the parent already has a lot of these in their pantry already. It looks like the kid already has access to a lot of snacks, which I don't know how many kids they have, but it just says that it's one child. The difference I would say in this one, the reason why I don't think it's the worst is because it says that let's restock my son's mini fridge for a sleepover, meaning that either the kid's gonna be sharing or coming over to share with them. So it doesn't seem as bad, but I do wonder about the pantry that looked like a store. Let's move back to the big fridges now. Ooh, okay, she went grocery shopping. Look at all that soda, just so much sugar. And again, these are things that you can buy in bigger containers, so you don't have to have all these single-use items. It's one thing if you're going to be taking it out, but for the ones that you drink at home, you can just buy one big container so that you don't have to keep having all of this plastic and aluminum in your house. Hopefully they at minimum recycle. Just a bunch of overconsumption as well. Wow, okay. See, some of these things, I don't think they should be in single-use plastic when it's for the home. More single-use items. More single-use items. Okay, see, moving the cheese, I don't know, because did she put the expiration date? I would at least want to see a label on there. I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you don't want the plastic in there. Okay, look at this. So the juice is not all the way. Where is the remainder of the drinks going? Because she did not pour all of the juice into those containers. Where is the remainder? That's the secret, you guys. Some of these people actually have two fridges. The fridge that they use for content and the other fridge which has all the leftover stuff. Because there is no way that you can transfer the milk into this milk container and there's still half a gallon. What did you do? Toss it? No, it's in another fridge or in the back of the fridge. This is where the unrealistic aspect comes from. Because there is no way, and you just left it on the counter, but you're never gonna see that in your kitchen. Let's move on to another unhinged video. I think this one is a greater level of unhinged, but there's still more. So let's look at this one. Candy, moving it from that container to another container. See, that one, I'm like, where's the remainder? Where's the bigger container it came from? The promotion of unhealthy food items as well. Just so much unhealthy food items being promoted. Look at that. All these drinks, all of this water, single-use plastic, more drinks. Like, how many kids do they have? If they have kids. just a bunch of single-use products. This is expensive, you all. And a lot of these foods that they're putting in these drinks, these are not things you need to sustain your life. A lot of these are very high in calories, very high in sugar, overall not healthy, and they're expensive. So if you try to follow this lifestyle, those drinks in that refrigerator alone is probably over $300. And so people say, oh, my grocery bill is high. None of those are needed. Those expensive drinks are not needed for you to live a healthy lifestyle. And that's another layer of this. People are complaining about expensive grocery bills, how food is so expensive. This is not food. This is overconsumption of drinks. Let's do another mini fridge restock. Let's see how unhinged this is, or if it's considered normal. At least they're cleaning it. Okay, more water. We love to see it. Keeping the kid hydrated. So this one says, let's restock my mini fridge for my daughter's play date. I'm guessing they're going to be sharing the food. Very small portions. I love that. There's nothing wrong with kids having candy, just in smaller portions. And I like to see this. Okay, trail mix, pretzel. So diversifying the foods. And again, small portions. Makes sense. Yogurt. Okay. I see absolutely nothing wrong with what this parent is doing. I love it. And I think this is a level of normal consumption. Making sure that your kid is having smaller portions of sweets and not going overboard. Now let's go to this unhinged video. We're already starting off with the unhealthy foods, more single-use products. You're in a house. Why do you need all of these single-use plastics? Why can't you just buy the bulk? More single-use plastic, landfills up to the max. Okay, at least she put the expiration date. We love to see. Okay, Lysol, more single-use items. Unhinged, in my opinion. We didn't get to see the whole fridge, so I'm not curious as to what the entire fridge looks like, but I see a lot of overconsumption. A lot of these are not real foods, okay? Maybe we saw one or two real foods and that was it. All of these things that people will go out there and buy and then complain that their grocery bill is high, these are all things that you can forgo. We want to see fruits, vegetables, some whole chickens, meat. That's the real food that you need to sustain life on. This is not real food that you sustain your life on, okay? If this doesn't even make breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's another problem. A lot of these are snacks. We're going to move on to this video. This creator seems to have a diverse amount of food. Okay, at least she's keeping things in their original packaging. We love to see more single-use items, but at least she has some bigger things left alone. Okay, let's see some cucumbers, no water. I'm guessing those are reusable containers, some water. There's nothing wrong with using once in a while single-use plastic. It's normal. Okay, she seems to have had 2 containers to split it, so that's more realistic. Fruits and vegetables. Okay, I like this too. I have containers similar to that where it drains the vegetables to keep them fresh. And these containers you can reuse. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having these containers to help you. And a lot of times fruits and vegetables from stores, they don't come in their own containers if you're buying the fresh ones that you pick out. So this makes sense why you want to organize it in newer containers. Okay, she kept in the original packaging and putting them in there. It's a lot of plastic that she's using, I'll say, but she's using them as dividers and separators. And that's a nice fridge. I think the containers are expensive, but once you buy them, you have a great amount of years to use them. I don't think this is too much overconsumption. I still see some that I think is unnecessary, especially with the drink situation. That's where it went overboard for me. Let's do another fridge video. So this one, she has a very large fridge. We can already see this is too much. These teeny tiny containers for mustards and mayos. I hope she's at least reusing them. But what is that? Like, you're gonna have to wash those as well. I like the salad thing. Again, with the drink situation. Okay, oh, I have that filter. But it's more for my countertop, not for my fridge. See, these teeny tiny things get on my nerves. This is peak unhinged for me. Literally peak unhinged. Because what is this? Oh my goodness. Okay, the drainer container, very normal. I'm not judging that. But see, a lot of these people are looking for things that are so niche. I can't even get behind it. I can't defend it. This is too much. Look at that. Now something to lock the food, particular thing for avocados. I think this is one of the worst that I've ever seen because of those teeny tiny containers. Was that really necessary? And I hope that those are not single use. Buying one time and reusing them over and over again. That was a bit of psychotic behavior. This is an absolute no. I would grade this like a D. Okay, there was some that was very normal, but the entire fridge is just stocked up to the brim, which goes into another point. Where is food? Where's the actual food? Her actual fruits and vegetables? Well, where's like the meat? Where are the leftovers gonna go? When you have a fridge that is this stock, okay, there seems to be absolutely no space for anything else. Where does the leftovers go? I like to see that. And I'm not taking that pizza as the only leftover that they have. I hope they're cooking some food with all the things that she has. Where does it go? Because the entire fridge is literally maxed out. Let me watch the ending one more time just to see the end of this, because like there's no space for ambiguity. The entire fridge is packed. There is no space for anything else. Is that realistic to y'all? Or does sometimes things happen and you need space in your fridge? Because this is maxed out. This is unhinged to me. Let's move on to another video. So in this video, we are starting to see butter, a butter container. Okay. See, this is unhinged. This is unhinged with the honey, where she poured some of the honey into that container. You know what? I'm just, see, taking a container out of the glass into this. If you like it, good for you, as long as you're reusing it. But again, this container of like pouring the drink in there, that drink did not finish. She has more of that drink. Where is that drink going? Oh my goodness. Like she took the items, she's taking some of the items out. All of it's not able to go into that container. Where is the rest going? I want to know. This calls for an investigation. I want to know. Okay, really nice pantry. You know what? I love the pantry. I like the pantry. I mean, all that. Like, you know what? I like that pantry. Some of this is, it's not that it's not nice to watch, but it's content. And I don't see a lot of labels on it. That's another thing. Where are the labels for the expiration dates? Because some of these things will go bad, and eventually everything will go bad. So I want to see some type of expiration date to show how realistic this is and what happens when it goes bad. Okay, let's move on to another video. So in this video, it says what my kids eat in one day. She's also doing some restocking of fruits and vegetables. We love to see the vegetables. A lot of these things, as long as you're continuing to use it, it's worth it. See, these little teeny tiny containers I find unhinged. I find those teeny tiny could not be realistic at all. Okay, I see how she did it. More plastic. Like the fridge is like maxed out. More single-use drinks. After so much plastic, the fridge just, I don't know, it doesn't look nice anymore. The fridge does not look nice anymore. My goodness. So where are the leftovers going? At least she seems to have a teeny tiny space for some leftovers. And she seems to have children. So I'm guessing, unless she's a stay-at-home mom who cooks fresh meals every single day, she's going to need somewhere to keep some leftovers. I want to see it. Because this fridge is basically maxed out. And how come she started with a completely empty fridge? What happened to the food she had before? Or did she live in a house with her kids and had nothing left? Absolutely nothing left. You're telling me they ate everything before she went grocery shopping to then do this? I love some aspects of this. But those teeny tiny containers are just driving me crazy. And I just see a lot of these things as peak unhinged behavior. So this video says my fridge loves to see me coming. I've seen some of these again with the oil, with the honey. Where is the remainder? Okay, the butter. Again, remainder of the butter. Where did the rest of the butter go? Where did the rest of the milk go? Where does the rest of the juice go? I mean, the juice, okay, finished all of it. Okay, I like that one. This is very normal. The fact that she cut up her lemons and limes, like those are gonna go bad, you know? Like they're gonna go bad pretty quickly once you cut them. Sometimes I feel like creators are competing with each other. They're absolutely competing with each other because somebody did this. They need to do something a step higher. You can see some of the things that are becoming more noticeable. They're all having similar gadgets to use. They're all doing slightly similar things. And they have this one or two unique things to sell you. This fridge is basically maxed out. At least I saw some chicken down there. But where do the leftovers go? So much plastics. Where does the leftovers go? Somebody please let me know. And that's what I'm telling you, there's a second fridge somewhere. This video is going to be quite long, but you know what? It's okay. This one is a freezer and they're just showing us how to freeze things. A ton of plastic containers. I don't see this as realistic. I don't. Because everything you buy doesn't go into that. Like, do you sometimes buy whole chickens? Do you buy meat? Where do those things go? Things that don't fit in those perfectly small containers. Sometimes you buy enough meat for like a month. Where is that going when your freezer is stocked up this much? Who has this much of this stuff in their freezer? And maybe you do, but then where is the extra space for the other things? You know what? Let's move on. So this one, again with the honey container, taking it from the perfectly fine honey container into another honey container that is more aesthetic. And as we can see, the first one seemed to fill, but then there's another honey container. Oh, let's go to this peek unhinged, which is the laundry container. Apparently now you need to find a different container for your laundry container, even though they already come in a laundry container, which I think is quite pretty most of the time. Oh my goodness. At least she seems to be using glass, which is slightly better. But all of this detergent, and she has to move the Ziploc containers too. They come in a container. They come in a container. Move the seasoning from the, you know what? Transferring seasoning is not the word. When I used to live at home, we used to do it. We used to take from the bigger container into smaller containers, not just move it into that container. Yeah, the laundry one is part of it. This is a high level of unhinged to me. Very high level. Let's move on to the next video. So this one, I wanted to show you about more of the laundry one. So they want to do this laundry restock. Pink, I love pink. And that's why I say it's not my hurts, because I love pink stuff. Like, this is literally totally my vibe. Even I can admit that some of these things are very, very unhinged. All these single-use items. It's a pink restock. It's an aesthetic. It's to sell you these things. So let's do a little bit more fridge restock. So you can see more and more plastic. And again, you have to watch this plastic. This takes time. Take it from somebody who knows something about this. I don't even have this much plastic things to move. I just wipe my stuff, wash all of my fruits and vegetables, and this takes hours. At least this one doesn't seem too unhinged. The food is not food. This is not a lot of food. This is a lot of snacks. And these snacks are expensive. Okay, let's move on. There's another fridge restock. They seem to have some things there. They cleaned it out, and then now they're going to restock the fridge. Let's see what they're restocking it with. Hopefully, it's something that people can actually eat and get nutritional values from. So far, I'm not seeing much of that, but I'm still holding out hope. Okay, some fruits and vegetables. We love to see it. And some reusable containers. Don't blame me out for that one. Really? Okay, you know what? We're seeing more and more plastic, more and more junk food. More junk food, and that's a lot of things that these restock videos promote. Just a bunch of junk food or fake healthy foods. And is it just me, or do they seem to be buying very similar types of food? Like, I've never seen so many people who have like very similar brands of food in their fridge. Let's move on to the next video. Okay, they're cleaning up. I love to clean up. I love to see people clean up. That's great. More processed foods, more and more processed foods. Eating more processed foods to add to our processed foods, okay? More processed foods, expensive processed foods. We love to see so much processed foods. Delicious, yum yum. More single-use plastic, more teeny tiny things that we can buy in bigger packages, but is it aesthetic? No, so let's buy all of these teeny tiny stuff to fill our fridge. Okay, I think you get the gist. Let's do one last video. Here is one that says new fridge, Costco and Kroger haul. She's buying, we already see the sodas. Yay, okay. And by the way, this takes time. See even how the lighting changes. More processed foods galore. Even more processed foods. More and more single teeny tiny processed foods. Finally, we see some fruits, and then we go back straight to the processed foods. And then the high calorie, high sugar content. At least she left the main containers of the drink. We love to see that. We see some fruits, very little fruits. We saw that egg container, okay? At least she seems to have put back her old items. More sodas. We see a freezer, okay. Did she have multiple freezers? Okay, at least she seems to have left some space for some leftovers. Well, she has more stuff to put in there. So let's see. More processed foods, more snacks. Does she have a second? She has a second freezer. What did I tell you about this second freezer thing? Yes, a lot of them have second freezers. The aesthetic ones they use for their work and the non-aesthetics one. Okay, I think we get the gist because these videos go on and on. And as you can see, this is the type of content I do like to consume. I just try not to emulate it because it's content. It's not real life. We saw the second fridge. I'm glad she showed us the second fridge. So let's quickly go into how we can avoid this trap. So as we can see, and we've talked about a lot, this is not real. It's good to avoid this media-driven consumption by practicing mindfulness when you're on social media. Be media literate. Be intentional about your spending. Track your spending. Do not fall into impulse purchasing. And reflect on your financial goals and let your financial goals keep you strong in consuming. And before you make a purchase of something you saw on social media, ask yourself, do I need this? Why am I purchasing this? Do I genuinely desire to buy this thing to add value to my life, or am I buying it for social validation, or just to be a part of it, or just to have it? By practicing mindful consumption, you can avoid impulse buying and ensuring that your spending aligns with your financial priorities. This also involves setting a budget and sticking to it, even when social media tempts you with its latest trends. Another thing you can do is unfollow those pages. And if it's on your For You page, do not click it. The algorithm adapts to what you're clicking. When I was doing my wedding video, I would always click on several wedding things to watch the videos, to gather all that content that I put in there. After a while, I think Instagram thought I was getting married or something, because I was just overwhelmed with the wedding content. Same with this organization stuff. It's all over my content because this is the type of stuff that I watch. Anytime I'm doing a video and I'm getting content from social media, I often get stuck on that, and the algorithms gives me more and more of that information. So if that's not something that you want to do not click it. Unfollow celebrities and influencers who promote this type of stuff to you. Make sure you follow accounts or engage with posts that aligns with who you are and who you want to be. Accounts like my Instagram page that talks about financial literacy, also minimalism, and overall sustainability. Also put an emphasis on your long-term financial goals. Stay focused and know that these trends are fleeting, but your financial life is a journey. Stay on the path towards financial success. And also practice delayed gratification. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is, "No discipline seems pleasant in time, however, it yields a harvest of righteousness by those who have been disciplined by it." The Bible is a great source of learning about finances, and it teaches about self-control and financial discipline and delayed gratification. You don't have to buy all those things now. Make a plan. Maybe you can't buy all the fridge organization items you want this year because you didn't budget for it, but next year you can put it in your budget and shop around, find something that is within the range that you can afford. There's nothing wrong with adding things into your life, buying nice things. You work hard. You should treat yourself, but don't let that "I deserve it" mentality get to you and lead you to financial destitution. And we have finally reached the conclusion. So to conclude, social media is a powerful tool. It has been used to fuel conspicuous consumption in many aspects of our lives, and today we focus on the fridge restocking. I'll do a different video on a different type of conspicuous consumption, and I hope this is a series that we can keep going, because there's so many ways that social media promotes this overconsumption. In economically challenged times, a lot of people look to these to feel better about their situation, but in turn it gets into their mind and they feel like they're not there yet, they don't have enough, they need more and more. You can't buy yourself into safety, you can't buy yourself into peace. Good to remain mindful, remain media literate. Take it one step at a time, budget your finances, and keep on course with what you know you want for your future. So with that being said, I'm bringing this video to an end. Thank you all so much. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And if this video added value in your life, be sure to leave a comment and let me know what is the weirdest thing social media has basically influenced you to buy, or the most ridiculous thing. Looking forward to reading your comments. Thank you all again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.